Hello, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm here to talk to you about mindful marketing, but I wanted to start with a little story. Quite a few years ago, I found myself 4 years into a relationship, and I had this conversation with my partner to which he revealed that he never wanted to have children and he really wanted to live in the country. To which I replied, I really want to have children and I want to live by the ocean. And therein lies the problem. Who's ever been in that situation in a relationship? Yeah? Where you realize that you're totally out of alignment. The same thing applies to our business and also the way in which we live our lives. So mindful marketing is about finding value-based approach to your marketing strategy, but it can also be applied to your personal life, because we are all our own brands, we're all our own little micro businesses. So what I learned in that moment in that relationship was that having a real clear sense of your values going into any relationship is probably the best way to go. When you've experienced being out of alignment with someone, and the next relationship that you go into, you usually start with a few leading questions around, do you ever want to have kids? Where would you ultimately like to end up living? We start to find, I'm seeing some nods, we start to find alignment. And so our businesses run the same. So I'd like to take you through a little exercise this morning. So if you could please take out your notepad or your phone or whatever you want to write some notes down. And if you have your phone out, please don't start Instagramming. Stay present. All right. So I'd like you to write down, in this moment, what are the 3 things that you value the most? That's a tough question. That could be community, financial security, love, family, whatever it is, write it down. You will have time to do this at home later. All right, and then I'd like you to write down, why do you value those things? So what is it about that word? If you've written down the word connection, for example, what does that mean to you and why do you value it? We're speed exercising here. And then the next thing, you can write this down to work on later. The next thing I'd like you to do is write down, what are the actions that you're taking that actually demonstrate those values? So they can be actions within your personal life, but also actions if you are someone that runs a business throughout your business. So raise your hand if you are a small business owner, a solo entrepreneur, a practitioner. Awesome. So when you are working for yourself or starting something, it is a direct reflection of who you are and your values. So your personal values have to align with the values of your business, otherwise long-term, it's not going to work. A few years ago, I was working with a client in a marketing capacity. I was consulting to him, and he was one of the first people to start a cold pressed juice company in Melbourne. And it was right before all these other amazing brands had happened. He was at the forefront of the idea, and his why was really clear. He'd been living in New York, living a party lifestyle, and juicing and eating healthy food had changed his life, and he wanted to share that with people. So he was really clear on the why. And then the how and the what came out in opening this cafe. And as I started working with him and got to know him a bit more, I realized that his personal values were completely out of alignment with the business. Yes, he was living his why, but he was running a cafe and didn't like people. He really didn't like engaging with customers. It grinded his gears. It made him really angry. And he realized, hang on a second, my why is really strong, but my values and how I want to live my life aren't matching up. And so we worked together on shifting his business into an online model, and then he realized he actually loves marketing and writing, and now he does that full time. So what that sort of leads into is the why. And you've probably heard this saying before, but there's a really famous marketer called Simon Sinek. If you haven't watched his video on TED Talk, look it up, the golden circle, it's golden. And in the center of that circle is the why. And he says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply proves what you believe. And so if you start to think about the brands that you're invested in yourself, you're buying into their why. Most of us here are purpose-driven. We have a passion for something that we want to share with the world, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. So this little part of your exercise is for homework because I do only have 15 minutes with you. But I'd like you to think about what is your why? And it's a really daunting question sometimes, like, why am I doing this? But bring it back to your values. If you start with your values and you go, okay, I value these 3 things in this moment. This is why I value them. This is how I'm embodying those values. That starts to inform your why. And when you know your why, the how and the what will manifest in so many different ways. And you'll have space to continue to grow. But your why will be really strong. And it gives you a point of reference to come back to. So that when opportunities start to present themselves, whether it's business opportunities or whatever it is, you have a point of reference to come back to. And if you're making a decision based on your values and your why, you will never regret it. If you're making a decision that just because something seems really shiny and like an awesome opportunity, but it's going completely against the values and your why, it'll probably end up in a little bit of a disaster, even if it makes the most business sense at the time. So we start to bring everything back to the why. And you'll notice then how this starts to translate into your marketing, yeah? I don't have a huge amount of time to give you all the tips on marketing right now, but what I'd like you to start thinking about is how is my why and my values informing the way in which I'm communicating with the world? How is that coming through in the way you're messaging, whether it be on social media or however you engage with your target audience? And so the why and the values start to form what we call content pillars. So you have something to come back to and go, is this in alignment? Yeah, and what I see so often with particularly people that are just starting out is that we get so excited. We're like, I just did this course and now I'm qualified in this and I really want to share it with the world and I'm so passionate about it. And then you go hell for leather and you press go on all the Facebook ads and you spend all the money and you do all the workshops and all the things and then you're like, oh, I've just thrown a bunch of stuff haphazardly around and I'm not really sure what worked. It wasn't measurable and now I'm feeling overwhelmed. Alignment before action. Take the time to align yourself with your vision, with your values, with your why, and then allow that to inform your marketing strategy. So if you've ever listened to, and my background is in media and PR as well as yoga teaching, so there's kind of a hybridization going on here. If you've ever listened to a politician give a speech, if you listen to the whole thing, they're essentially saying the same thing over and over and over again. And we kind of make fun of them, like, oh, this repetitive, this is this year's slogan. The reason why they're doing that is because they know that they are only going to have a 15-second news grab that will actually go live. And so they're trying to ensure that whatever that little bit of information that someone retains from hearing that speech is their actual key message, is their why. And so we start to apply the same thing to the way in which we communicate, to the way in which we market. You're not repetitively saying the same thing over again. You're using the lenses of your values and of your why to start to inform what it is that you're offering to the world. So you can start to see how getting really clear on that why statement makes all the difference. And in yoga, we call it dharma, your role in the natural evolution of the universe. What are you offering? Why are you offering it? And if this is something that you'd like to take away and do at home, I encourage you to move into your simplest state of awareness, to meditate, to take some time out, whatever it is, to connect to the space in your heart and let that inform your why. And then once you have that, you can start to make a plan from that place. So I'm about to launch a Mindful Business Academy that will teach you more about the how and the what. We're going to be live very soon, but if you follow along my Instagram page personally, I'll be starting to post more and more information about where to find that and how to get involved if you want to learn more. And I'll also be over at that table afterwards if you want to come and have a chat with me about it. So what I really encourage you to do when you go home is to sit down, reflect on your values, connect with them. Why do you value them? What do they mean to you? How are you living them? And if you start to notice that there's a misalignment between your personal values and what you're presenting as your business values, it might be something to check back in around and try and find alignment with yourself. And then write out your why statement. And when you write that why statement out, it won't necessarily say what you do. You could be doing anything, but it comes back down to why are you doing it? And that is powerful, and that is what your customers, what your students, what your audience will engage with. And that will set you up for a long-term success in business as opposed to this overnight trendy thing that pops up and pops down. Yeah, if you want to actually make an impact, connect to your why, present that to people, and then live it and embody it in every area of your life. Thank you so much. I'll be over here if you want to have a chat with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.